Hello and welcome to this week's exciting episode of the Wildlife Matters podcast. And we've got a thrilling show lined up for you today as we venture into the enchanting world of foxes during springtime, exploring a bustling den right here in our local area. And get ready to immerse yourself in the sights and sounds of nature. On this week's Wildlife Matters Mindful Moments, we will be listening to the captivating vocalisations of an iconic British mammal, which boasts up to 28 different calls and a rich variation of body language. However, that is a bit more tricky to convey on an audio podcast. Before we leap into our fox adventure, let's catch up on 3 intriguing news stories from the wildlife and nature realm. First, we'll tackle an important question. Can exercise and time in nature truly enhance your mental well-being? Well, you won't want to miss some of the fresh findings from this newly released research study. Our second story takes us to Northern Ireland, where the Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute experts aim to eradicate bovine TB. Join us as we uncover their groundbreaking discoveries that could change the region's livestock health, and all without harming badgers. And finally, we'll take a stroll to your garden. No matter where you are in Britain, there's one simple, quick and budget-friendly task that you could do to make a difference for an iconic local mammal. So stay tuned for that must-know tip in this week's Wildlife Matters Nature News, which is coming up next on this week's Wildlife Matters podcast. Hello and welcome to this week's Wildlife Matters Nature News. And this week's first story is about the benefits of exercise and nature for our well-being. So, can exercise boost your brain power? Well, pay attention if you want to enhance your brain function, memory and fitness all simultaneously. Because new research from Australia suggests that walking in nature can help you achieve all 3. The study, which was led by Dr. Ben Singh, found that individuals with ADHD experienced the most significant improvements in executive function, which means everyday tasks such as planning, problem solving and adapting to new situations became a bit more manageable. This comprehensive literature review is the most extensive to date, emphasising that exercise is crucial for physical health and for optimising cognitive health. The umbrella review analysed 133 studies involving data from 2,724 randomised controlled trials and over 258,000 individual participants. It was published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Our goal was to evaluate the effects of exercise on brain function, specifically general cognition, memory and executive function across all age groups and populations, Dr. Singh told Wildlife Matters. We examined different types of exercise of varying intensities and program durations to determine the most effective strategies for enhancing brain power. Overall, our findings provide strong evidence that exercise significantly boosts brain function. So is low intensity or high intensity exercise better for your brain? Well, the research indicates that all exercise intensities benefit the brain, but notably, low and moderate intensity exercises were found to be more effective for cognitive improvements than high intensity workouts. A leisurely hike may enhance your brain power more than a vigorous uphill sprint. Another interesting finding was that shorter programs lasting 1 to 3 months showed greater cognitive benefits than longer-term interventions. This suggests that improvements can occur quickly if people consistently engage with physical activity. Children and adolescents demonstrated the greatest improvement in memory. Additionally, a potentially game-changing discovery was made that individuals with ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, who experienced the most significant gains in executive function among all the populations analysed. Research indicates that areas of the brain responsible for executive functions, mental skills such as organisation, attention and planning, tend to be smaller, less developed or less active in those with ADHD, so even a gentle stroll every day can be helpful. Singh also revealed that exergames, which require physical movement while playing video games, such as the Nintendo Wii, strongly impacted memory and cognition. This may be due to the dual engagement of body and mind, making these activities particularly stimulating for the brain, he said. These findings highlight various ways to improve brain health through exercise. Even light movement can be very beneficial. The way exercise enhances brain power involves multiple positive biological and physiological mechanisms. Firstly, exercise increases blood flow to the brain, ensuring that brain cells receive more oxygen and essential nutrients, which supports overall cognitive function. Exercise promotes neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells, by stimulating the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a crucial protein involved in learning and memory. Additionally, exercise helps reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, which are both linked to cognitive decline. Furthermore, exercise increases dopamine and serotonin release, enhancing focus, mood, and motivation. Research by Singh has shown that physical activity significantly impacts on sleep quality and regulates stress by balancing cortisol levels, which, if elevated, can impair memory and cognitive functions. These mechanisms demonstrate that exercise is not only beneficial for physical health, but also plays a crucial role in maintaining a sharp and resilient brain. This isn't Singh's first study on transformative mental benefits of exercise. In 2022, he conducted the largest review to date on exercise effects on mental health, which demonstrated its effectiveness in improving symptoms of depression and anxiety. Ultimately, exercise is not just about physical fitness. It is essential for brain health, Dr. Singh explained. What is exciting is that even light or moderate exercise can lead to noticeable difference in cognitive function, allowing people of all fitness levels to benefit. Our second story today takes us to Northern Ireland, where the AFBI have claimed that bovine tuberculosis can be entirely eradicated. That's exciting news from the Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute, which suggests that Northern Ireland is on the path to completely eradicating bovine tuberculosis, or BTB. This breakthrough was the hot topic at a recent Omnics conference in Belfast, where AFBI virologist Dr. Adrian Allen shared promising findings. Dr. Allen highlighted that past efforts in testing and carefully removing infected cattle had significantly lowered BTB levels. However, the situation has taken a concerning turn in recent years, with BTB rates creeping back up in Ireland, Dr. Allen pointed out. While the increasing intensity of livestock production might play a role, other factors could also appear to play. We're diving deep into these issues through ongoing research. But that's not all. AFBI scientists have been investigating another intriguing aspect of BTB, badgers. Their groundbreaking Test, Vaccinate or Remove, or TVR initiative, which launched in 2014, is a comprehensive wildlife intervention study that targeted the Banbridge area in County Down. Through this initiative, scientists captured live badgers, tested them for tuberculosis, vaccinated clear ones, and removed those who tested positive. Robin Scouse from the AFBI emphasised the critical role of cattle-to-cattle transmission in spreading BTB. He commented, "We sourced all the badger BTB isolates through our TVR programme, while the bovine isolates came from DARA's mandatory testing. Our research revealed TB's surprisingly slow mutation rate, confirming that the primary transmission route is between cattle." Studies by AFBI have validated the same principles regarding cross-border transmission. Alarmingly, the rates of BTB infections are on the rise in Northern Ireland, which more than 1 in 10 cattle herds now facing some disease restriction. The fight against bovine TB in Ireland is far from over, but with ongoing research and intervention initiatives, there is hope on the horizon. Our third story highlights a simple, quick and inexpensive action that could significantly benefit one of our most iconic wild animals. Gardeners are being urged to put holes in their garden fences this spring to help save the much-loved hedgehogs. And this simple act could offer a lifeline to the nation's beloved, yet sharply declining, hedgehog population. The decline of hedgehogs in Britain has become alarmingly steep due to environmental changes and specific gardening and lifestyle practices in our homes and green spaces. Nevertheless, gardening enthusiasts are being urged to attract these spiny creatures into their gardens during the warmer months. Not only do hedgehogs add charm, but they also serve as efficient pest controllers, eagerly feasting on insects that challenge gardeners. According to the Amazing Grace project, hedgehogs are perpetual roamers who need easy access to gardens. Hedgehogs are one of Britain's most recognisable and well-loved animals. They are a gardener's friend as they eat beetles, caterpillars, worms and other invertebrates. They also revealed an interesting fact about hedgehogs. Did you know that as many as 10 hedgehogs may be visiting your garden over several nights? This means that your hedgehog, in brackets, could be a number of different ones visiting at different times. The European hedgehog is the most often admitted animal to wildlife rescue centres. Hedgehogs, known for their nightly rambles of up to a mile, might need some assistance navigating our gardens. Hedgehog friends suggest creating small openings in fences or walls, or building tunnels under boundaries, which with a 13 by 13 centimetre gap, which is sufficient for hedgehogs to get in and importantly get back out of your garden. Just remember to check with your neighbour before making an opening. Tragically, the number of hedgehogs has plummeted, and experts believe this is partly due to the rise of solid barriers around our properties and gardens. According to Grace the hedgehog, it is becoming harder for hedgehogs to move freely due to an increase in the number of solid walls and fences erected around gardens, and the latest research backs this up. Lack of access to gardens reduces available foraging areas for hedgehogs, and that limits the food that they can access and decreases their chances of meeting a mate. Creating a hole in the garden wall or fence allows your local hedgehogs to pass safely from garden to garden. For those looking to lend a helping hand, you can cut a small hole at the base of your fence or slightly elevate the panel or gate to create enough space for a hedgehog to slip through, ensuring it's small enough to prevent the passage of cats or other small animals. To help hedgehogs, all you need to do is trim around 4 to 5 inches of wood from the bottom of your garden fence or gate. That will create an entrance. For those who want a dedicated solution, hedgehog projects like Amazing Grace or Hedgehog Street offer a hedgehog hole fence plate that ensures a metal reinforced opening at the base of your fence. The British Hedgehog Preservation Society said a hole measuring 13 by 13 centimetres is the right size for a hedgehog to pass through, but is too small for most cats and dogs. Once you have made your hole in the fence or wall, you can fix the hedgehog plate to the fence to ensure the hole does not get blocked or stretched. You can purchase hedgehog highway holes from the Amazing Grace project, and we will leave a link to their website and the other hedgehog charities we've mentioned in our show notes. And that has been this week's Wildlife Matters Nature News. So are you ready to make your garden a hedgehog haven this weekend? It's the perfect time to create spaces for these adorable creatures, and once you are done, head out and soak up the amazing benefits of exercising in nature to help your own mental well-being. Step this way and join us on this early spring evening. Imagine encountering some of the breathtaking wild species that share this beautiful island with us as we sit and enjoy the incredible range of vocalisations this iconic wild animal family make on this week's Wildlife Matters Mindful Moments. You may have heard some of those sounds in your wild places, as they were the sounds of a fox family before the vixen and dog fox head off to find food to feed themselves and their 4 cubs. And that leads us to the stars of this week's Wildlife Matters main feature, where we have spent time watching, listening and learning about one of our local fox families and what they are doing in springtime. Hello and welcome to this week's Wildlife Matters main feature. And today I am excited to bring you our look into foxes in the springtime. The early morning sunlight danced through the trees as I sat and gazed at the incredible kaleidoscope of greens that surrounded me, from the grass up through the scrub to the emerging canopy. Mother Nature was coming to life after her winter resting, and I knew it was going to be a good day. You see, I had returned to a fox den that I've watched closely for the last few weeks. And a while back, I saw a vixen looking around it. It is ideal, set within an earth bank and entangled in some exposed tree roots. She would have spent time with the dog fox, mating regularly during those long, dark winter nights. Fox gestation is around 53 days, so by March this has nearly finished and she will be preparing to have her cubs very soon, and we will be following them. Vixens typically will have 4 to 5 cubs, and they will all be born blind and deaf. The newborns don't look like foxes. They have round faces, short ears, and dark chocolate brown fur. They are entirely dependent upon their mother. The vixen would have dug at least 2 entrances to the den. The main entrance is the one that I am currently watching, and she will use this, and it will lead through a tunnel to her nest chamber. For the first month or so, the vixen will be suckling her cubs and will not leave them, as at this stage the cubs cannot thermoregulate, which means that they cannot control their own body temperature. After around 10 to 14 days, the cubs will open their eyes, which are a stunning ice or steely blue. Over the next couple of weeks, their ears begin to grow into that familiar fox shape, and they will grow guard hairs that make their fur look like a fuzzy ball. During the first month, the dog fox feeds the vixen while she suckles her cubs, keeping them warm and safe in their underground nursery. He will spend most of the evening and all night finding enough food and bringing it back to her. He will use the second entrance leading to the food storage area. The dog fox will call as he approaches the den with food, and the vixen will respond. He will then give her the food directly via the first den entrance, or store it for later using the second den entrance. Foxes have an extensive vocal range of sounds and form very close family bonds. It's been a cold and wet spring so far, and nature has been slow to get going. Of course, Mother Nature will compensate for lost time, and I'm sure we will soon be enjoying another hot, warm summer. But now, in April, I have not yet seen the cubs emerge from the den. It was another chilly early evening when my phone beeped. The trail cameras I had positioned had been triggered. It was at the fox den. I eagerly looked at the live camera feed on my mobile phone. The vixen was outside the den and was encouraging her cubs to leave. I saw one cub. His dark brown fur slightly lighter, but not orange. His round face had begun to change as his muzzle extended, and the ears were still floppy, but almost standing up on their own. And then a second cub peeked out of the set for at least 5 minutes before finding the courage to leave the den. Despite my mobile sending multiple notifications through the night, I didn't see more than 2 cubs. The next day, I went to the den as soon as possible, and I maintained a good distance of at least 20 meters from the set entrance and settled in for the evening of watching the new fox family. The dog fox was busy bringing food, and the vixen emerged before dusk. A short while later, I saw the cubs, but this time there were not 2 cubs, but 4. They began to play with the familiar rough and tumble play fights, pinning each other to the ground, pouncing, and having an awful lot of fun. It really is incredible to watch the cubs as they learn and develop the skills and instincts that they need to survive in the big world away from their den. Finding enough food to support 4 cubs, changing and growing daily, is hard work. The vixen, who has so lovingly raised her cubs, dedicating every hour to them, looks well fed. However, she needs plenty of food now to help her regain her condition after carrying, giving birth and raising her cubs. The dog fox, by comparison, looks thin. He is not getting much food, but his family is well fed, so he is doing a good job. Foxes are omnivores, which means they have a varied diet and will eat a wide range of food. And this dog fox is a good hunter. I've seen him bring rabbits, rodents, birds, and even frogs, as well as sliced white bread, sausages, and chicken breast fillets. He certainly knows where to go to be given food by the local humans. On every visit to the fox family, I pack a couple of rounds of sandwiches. Usually they're peanut butter and something sweet like strawberry jam sandwiches. Yes, foxes do have a sweet tooth. I always leave them something, and I've seen the dog fox enjoy the treat and stash some for later before returning to the den more than once. By the end of May, the cubs are out of the den every night and can be seen begging for food. As soon as the dog fox returns, they begin a high-pitched whining. They are either wagging their tails or keeping their bodies low to the ground, often both. One cub nuzzles his mouth to get him to release the food to them first. I'm sure this is a female cub. It is ultra competitive and very much every fox for themselves. The cubs will fight over food, arching their backs with their heckles up, heads low, and making high-pitched kecking noises. Even at this young age, foxes still use audible communication as well as visual and behavioural. It's clearly intuitive for them. But the cubs look so different now. They've transformed from round-faced, reddish-brown baby bundles of fur into the beautiful amber orange of young foxes with the white chin fur and bib developing. Their ears are now pointed and erect, with white spots on the back of the ear and dark fur on the pointed tips. Their muzzles have elongated with dark hair and white whiskers. Their legs are dark, ebony brown, and the tails have begun to grow into that beautiful brush. Now, they are slightly smaller versions of adults, but full of playful spirit and curiosity, and their desire to explore the world is evident. This fox family consists of 3 boys and 1 girl. Fox cubs play roughly with each other, and the early rough and tumble games have become more focused as they get older. I noted that they stood on their back legs, trying to push each other over with their front legs. This sparring type behavior is akin to boxing hares, but it has its purpose because the cub that is pushed over often has its rump or tail bitten and will be subordinate to the other cub. This may not be decided in one sparring match. The cubs have been sparring regularly for a couple of days now. They are now establishing the order and who will be the dominant cub. Our female cub has excelled at the rugby tackle. Maybe not exactly, but she would run at speed at her siblings and slam her rump into them, knocking them away from the food and often into another cub. It made me think of 10-pin bowling, and I'm sure she felt the same way I do on that rare occasion I get a strike. She deployed her secret weapon regularly, and the boys never worked out how to counteract it. So it was no surprise then that it's the female cub who prevailed to become the dominant cub in this group. That has a lot of advantages. It means that she eats first every time. And cubs that eat first grow faster and become stronger. The dominant cub is also groomed more often by both of her parents, and females usually stay with their mothers and help with the next year's cubs. I can't help but feel proud of her. Although she is physically slightly smaller, she has a genuine desire for life. As spring slowly becomes summer, our fox family experiences a lot. But that's a subject for another time, and we'll be back with the ongoing adventures of our fox family. I hope you've enjoyed Wildlife Matters look at our fox family in spring. Please do go back and listen to our podcast, The Fox Family in Winter, from Series 1 of the Wildlife Matters podcast. But for now, that has been this week's Wildlife Matters main feature. Well, I hope you enjoyed spending time with our fox family during one of the busiest times of the foxy year, springtime. One of the biggest pleasures of the wildlife year is the joy of watching fox and badger cubs as they venture from their underground dens and sets and begin to explore the world that is full of new sights, sounds and smells. And is so exciting that it makes you want to leap into the air and pounce on imaginary animals. And that brings us to the end of Series 5 of the Wildlife Matters podcast. We now have over 60 episodes on our RSS feed, so please do check out our back catalogue. Wildlife Matters will return in 2 weeks for Series 6, our summer and autumn series. And we have an exciting new interviews and feature species like the stunning golden eagle. You can join us as we watch wild beavers, look at one of our native amphibian species and see the devastating impact of AI, and that's avian influenza, on birds and other native species here in Britain. We will also be looking at some of the many benefits of being in nature to our well-being. So, Series 6 has lots to capture your interest, whatever your interests are in the wonderful world of wildlife here in Britain. Thank you for your time today. We hope you enjoyed it and have something to take away from this episode. Please do leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps other wildlife and nature lovers to find us in this algorithm-driven world. Thank you. Wildlife Matters will return in 2 weeks with a landmark first episode of Series 6. Something we couldn't have imagined when we started this podcast on a dark, cold winter evening back in 2021. So, until then, stay curious, wild ones. This is Wildlife Matters, signing off.